Today I'm going to show you how to stretch out. I have been dancing since I was 3 years old, and I fell in love not just with the dancing aspect of it, but also with the stretching aspect. I have found that it lowers anxiety, it builds confidence, it improves breathing, and it gives a sometimes much needed mental break. I also go over some tips and tricks for getting your splits down, so if that is something you're aiming for, I hope this video helps you. So without further ado, here is how to stretch out.
The best time to stretch is before or after strenuous physical activity. If you want to stretch in the morning, wait at least 10 minutes after you wake up, and I wouldn't stretch right after eating because you will be doing a lot of twists and turns with your body and you don't want to upset your stomach. Find a nice, calm place with a solid but comfortable ground and wear loose, uninhibiting clothing. If your body creaks and cracks, that's totally normal, as long as it isn't accompanied with pain. I found the more flexible I get, the more weird sounds there are. Standing stretches. I always like to start at the top of my body and work my way down, so we'll start by stretching at our necks. Neck rolls. Let your head dangle forward, side, back, and side. It's okay if it feels a little uncomfortable at first. A little tension is normal if you're tight or stressed. Let gravity do the work. With every stretch, I always do the same number of stretches on both sides, because like in algebra, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. I sometimes like to use my hands to lightly deepen the stretch. Once your neck feels loose enough, you can proceed to neck rolls. Shoulder rolls. Roll your shoulders backwards in circular motions and then repeat going forward. Once you've done that several times, isolate each shoulder by rolling back one and then the other, first backwards several times and then forwards. Do not force it. The movement should be fluid. And loosen. Shoulder stretch. Now we're going to stretch out our trapezius. Bring one arm across the front of your body, and with your other arm underneath, bend your elbow so your one arm on the bottom is pulling the arm on top. This one always gets my mom. I like to deepen the stretch into my back muscles by turning my body as well, while keeping both feet firmly planted facing front. And loosen. Tricep stretch, or the elbow grab. Bring your arm up and bend the elbow so your hand is touching your lower neck. Take your other hand and grab the elbow and gently pull. For a more challenging stretch, hold hands with yourself behind your back. Calf stretch. To stretch out your calf muscles, send one leg back and gently lean back into it. Then to stretch your hamstrings, shift your weight by bending forward over the front leg as low as you can. The famous toe touch. If you cannot yet touch your toes, no worries. Just go as far as you can and dangle. I found it's helpful to start off by stretching as high as you can and then swinging down into it. Remember to let gravity do the work. To loosen your back up, I like to bend one knee and slowly come back up, vertebra by vertebra, to completely stretch out on one side. And your head should be the last to come back up. Make sure to breathe, especially if it's uncomfortable. Thigh stretch. To stretch your thighs out, bend your knee and grab your foot and hold it for a few seconds. I like to deepen the stretch by pulling my leg up behind me to prepare for my scorpion. Scorpion. Grab your foot behind you and bending your knee, bring it to the back of your head. Next is the flamingo. Bend your knee and bring your foot up to your thigh as high as you can to stretch out your hamstrings. I like to deepen the stretch by pulling my leg away from my body as far as I can. This stretch is good for achieving and maintaining your middle splits. Leg mount. Grab your foot and bring your leg as close to your ear as you can without bending it. There's no shame in only getting 90 degrees. Everyone starts somewhere. This is good prep and maintenance for your side splits. Standing butterfly. Grab your foot with your hands, bend your knee, and bring your foot as close to your center as you can. Butt stretch. I like to lean into my right side about now and stretch my butt out. It looks silly, but it feels really good. Back bend. It's a good idea to start with a wall or a spotter before you feel comfortable going all the way back by yourself. Once you're down there, I like to go on releve, or my tippy toes, and on my elbows to deepen the stretch. For an added bonus, twist your torso into what I call the peekaboo. I then like to lower myself down on my thighs and arch my back to stretch them back out afterwards because back bends use a lot of thigh support. Alright, floor stretches. Butterfly. Sit down with both legs bent and your feet together as close to your center as possible. Don't worry too much about how close to your center your feet are. I can never get mine all the way and I do the splits just fine. Stretch forward and over and side to side. The half butterfly. Bend one leg and keep the other stretched out. Stretch side to side. This is a good stretch for beginners who want their splits. Sitting toe touch. Next, try to touch your toes again sitting down. Flex and point, and remember to let gravity do most of the work. The swan. This is probably the single most helpful stretch for me for getting my side splits down. Bend one leg in front of you, and the other straight out behind you. Bend forward, bend back. Basically, just get really comfortable in this position. I like to bend my foot to the back of my thigh, followed by the sitting scorpion, which is a little easier balance-wise and harder for me to cheat. I have an abnormally flexible back, so I often neglect my thighs when doing the scorpion. My friends and I call this the pretzel. And now try your splits. Rock forward and backward to get comfortable in it, and it always looks nice when you point your toes. Transition into your middle splits if you can. If not, stand back up and slowly work your way back down. It took me about a year to feel comfortable transitioning between splits. And rock back and forth and stretch side to side. Go into your other side splits. For an added bonus, bring your back leg up and work it into a sitting split scorpion. Finally, go back into your middle splits and slowly lean all the way forward. The frog. If you can, scoot your legs backwards into the frog. It basically looks like a backwards butterfly. This is great for turnout in ballet. Shoulder stand. To stretch out your lower back, lie down and swing your torso and legs up over your body, then lower them over your head. Ultimately, you want your toes behind you. You want to make sure the ground is comfortable for this one, or your neck will feel it. This is a good opportunity to let gravity work on your split stretches. Hey, I'm headless! For an added bonus, try to put your feet behind your head. Also important, but commonly overlooked, is stretching out your hands and feet. If you are a gymnast, stretching out your fingers and wrists is really important to warm them up before floor exercises and aerials because you depend on your arms as much as your legs. Finger and toe stretch. I like to pull each set of fingers apart into the finger splits. Not too much. I don't want hypermobility in my hands. I just want them warmed up and ready to go. Then I gently pull my fingers and rotate my wrists. This is also a really good stretch to do during a test or meeting if you're stressed but can't leave to relieve your anxiety. Everything I did with my hands, I like to do with my feet. That sounds weird. Foot stretches. If you dance ballet, it's always a good idea to stretch out your feet. Gently leaning into your arch is good for improving them, and I like to balance it out by then stretching the back of my toes, followed by the toe splits. Adagios. Finally, after rehearsing for the Nutcracker this year and watching my amazing fellow dancers, a new personal goal of mine is to have better grand battements and better adagios, so I like to hold my legs out in front of me, to the side of me, and behind me for 20 seconds. Basically, I want to be able to hold my legs as high as I can swing them. Make sure if you do this and you take ballet that when in à la seconde, your hips are turned out. And as always, point your toes.
that is my stretch routine. I hope you guys liked it, and thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, give it a big thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for more fantabulous stuff. Comment below any thoughts, any likes, dislikes, if you tried any of the stretches and how they worked for you. I read and respond to every comment. So yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you again so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!